Oh, welcome, Clobberers, to Clobberin Times Wild Card Wednesday night. It's CT issue number, 268 on YouTube, but 968 overall. Well over 12 and a half years of this, and for some reason, still making noise and messing things up, and yet no one stopped me. Or maybe they haven't. I'm just too dumb to know it. Good to see you, my friends. I'm glad to see you here. Before I do any show notes or anything like that, let me just say some hello. Well, I'll do the show notes first. Maybe some other friends will pop in. Then we'll do that because there's not much to show note really, other than the obvious. Tomorrow night, Clobby's Clubhouse will take place. No Global Geek game tomorrow, my friends, but Clobby's Clubhouse will be here, of course, tomorrow night, this time, same bat channel, with my wonderful first officer, the extraordinary Raquel, and our great chief engineer, Mark D with a C. So it'll be that. And then, obviously, goes without saying, Saturday Night Star Trek will be on, of course, Saturday night at this time again. It'll be 9 Central. And what a great time we've been having with that. We appreciate you all being here for that. You've just been sensational. And Sunday night, there will be a special Clobberin Times at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, where I will welcome an all-star panel consisting of, I do believe the great Mark D with the C will be there if he can make it, he said. Nick, our good buddy Nick Weiser, may make it as well, but my featured guests, whose idea it was, and they wanted to do it, and they're great friends. I don't know if they're in the chat yet because I haven't seen the chat yet, but my good buddies J-Man and Decepticon, aka Sean, they are from, of course, J-Man's great channel. J-Man's channel has become a good buddy of, and I really appreciate him and what all the stuff he does in the times we've been able to hang out. He's a great dude, and he's got a great gang over there. And Sean, of course, has been amazing as well. We appreciate you both. And that'll be Sunday night. I'll get it all worked up and better announcement and a picture for it and all that other good stuff tomorrow night. But in the meantime, Spinnernet Time Machine video didn't get out today. Just too much going on. Hopefully I'll have it done by tomorrow and out there for tomorrow afternoon, evening. So sorry about that, but it will happen. Let me say my hellos now to my wonderful friends in the chat. The great Hungry Boy. First up, I got my chat. My chat is like way back, so I'm not seeing any new chats yet, but I'll get to those. So I don't know who's here and who's not, but I'm taking the names I see. Hungry Boy, always a pleasure. I really do. I mean, you have no idea, and I cannot put properly into words what your amazing comments on the videos and stuff and the streams always mean to me. You have been amazing and a fantastic friend of the channel, you Clobberer, and I appreciate you so much. The great Snorter Poopers Cuber Snorty. Always a pleasure, my friend. Great to see you. Lord Doth. Whoa, dude. Always great to see the great LT here. I hope you're still with us. Again, I don't know. That was probably before the stream, so I don't know if he's still here or not. But Lord Doth, LT, Avon lives and long live the Legion, buddy. Let's see. Stuart Mitchell. What a great... Stuart Mitchell is here. It's always a pleasure, my friend. Always remember, never forget, Dolly had braces. So there you go. Let me see who else is here. Up in here. Taking me a second to get to it, folks, but I'm there. I had to stop my chat so I can backtrack. D-Bud Martin, the man of iron. Good to see you, brother. Always a pleasure. Elika Bellas. Oh, always good to see you, my friend. Eric K, the Bronze Wrencher. Great to see you, buddy. There's Mark D. What they see. I did send you a link if you feel like hanging, bro. As you know, it's always casual. You might be busy. Let's see here. Kal-El, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, Kal-El. Thank you for being here. Almost, let's see. Marshall Lewis. Well, hello there, Marshall Lewis. Welcome. It is good to see you. Just Joe. What's up, jobber, buddy? All right. Great to see you, my friend. Max Redstone. What is up? Clobberist indeed. I like that. Always a pleasure, Max. Good to see you, bro. Let's see here. Who else we got? Yep. Catman, aka Didi Myers. Great to see you there. Hope you and the missus are doing well, my friend. M-Tax Shark. Hey. Good to see you there. I don't like taxes, but I like a tax shark. Eric K with a $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Eric K. Who is the man? Who is the man this monster speaking? I don't know. Who is the man this monster speaking? I don't know. Is that you guys? Does that mean you guys aren't hearing me or what? Oh, that's cool. Oh, I could have swore I put the link in there, bro. Hang on a second. I would have bet anything I put the wrong. Oh, God. Let's see. Did I put it in the wrong spot? I'm sorry. I could have sworn I put it in there. Maybe okay, here you go. Sorry, Mark D. Something wrong with Facebook? It didn't work. I'm going to put it over in the Twitter thingy. Facebook's being a jagoff. That's why. I mean, I knew I'd sent that sucker. Going to I just put it in the Clobby's clubhouse there, brother. And of course, it's not, Raquel, of course, is always welcome to come on if she wants, but she's coming on tomorrow. But that's where I always put it. So, let's see. All right, it worked over there. I don't know why it's not working over there in the Facebook one where I usually send it to you. Sorry about that, everyone. Let's see there. Who is this man? Thank you so much, Eric K, for the super chat. Dave Bob, buddy. Oh, yeah, LT. Okay. Can't wait for the Legion chat, buddy. This monster, indeed. Yes, Tax Shark. Remove that tie, brother. David Serta, hello there. Good to see you, my friend. This monster is a classic. I just didn't know what if we were asking a question or what. Catman says, Clobby, we are doing good. She's done better doing better the past couple of days. Thank you. Thanks for the sound check. Punk Water, what's up, bro? Yes, indeed, Dave Bob. Always a pleasure, brother. Let's see. I have this thing. My chat's way back, everyone. I'm getting everyone as I can. It's going slow. It's slow on me. Trying to make sure I don't miss one. Now I think I've got it up to date. I think. Oh, there's the lovely Sherry. Always beautiful, Sherry. Thank you. You bring some loveliness to our bunch of guys hanging out here, geeking around, and I hope, all things considered, you are doing well. Good to see you so much. And there's, of course, first officer's not here tonight. Unless he wants to, of course.
No, I'm not that
Chief
good
Engineer's here.
Hey, thanks for having me. You didn't post that on the public on Facebook, I hope, right? The link? Just kidding.
No.
No, it's fine. Messenger just did an update today, so I'm wondering if they have some snafus going.
I'm going to try it again on Messenger. Oh, that's Claude's. I didn't put it on his either. All right. I put it in your all right, I'm gonna do it right now.
I got it, but yeah, I noticed.
Did you see
Messenger?
It? All right, there it is, right there.
I'll check. Yeah, whenever they do an update, you never. Nope, it's not coming through.
Not coming through.
Yep.
Crap.
So it could be a Facebook
Because I don't trust my memory, and it's easy to shake my memory. But this was a time where, hey, my memory was working. Oh, I know I did it this time. A little bit before the show, like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Max Redstone for $2. Thank you so much, Max. I appreciate that. Superman 2 was a good movie. We must debate. I would be happy to debate that with you. I think Superman 2 is a steaming pile of horse manure. The Richard Lester cut. The Donner cut could take some debate. But Max, anytime, my friend, you're welcome here.
He's going to limerick his answers, right?
I don't know.
So maybe he'll win, right?
I don't know. That's cheating. I couldn't possibly miss the 43rd anniversary. Arguably the greatest superhero movie. Yes, I would definitely argue it's the greatest superhero movie of them all. Certainly, greatest casting. And yeah,
It's magical. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Well, Steve Mitchum, what's up, bro? Good to see you. Now, a year ago, the 15th was, of course, on a Tuesday night, which I don't normally do a show on. So our good buddy Paulie with Latino Slant gave me a holler, and he think he'd already done a show. It was getting kind of late, and he said, this is he saw where it was the 15th, at that point, the 42nd anniversary. It was the 15th, so the 42nd anniversary of the opening of Superman the movie, 1978. And he got together. He got his buddy Tommy with the Guinea Pig Collective, and he said, "Let's just do a show." And we all just I think we all did it on my channel, if I remember correctly. Again, my memory. But we had a great time a year ago today doing that. And I got here kind of late because I was Paulie on his Christmas stream tonight, which was, I appreciate that invite. That was a lot of fun. He had a lot of cool people on there. So I just came up directly over from this, and I just but I decided yesterday. Well, now I'm actually remembering the 15th. Let's we'll talk about. Let's talk about it a little bit.
Day, yep.
Yeah, I mean it's Wild Card Wednesday, so anything goes. But we will talk about this for a little bit. You of course are a youngster.
Yep.
Compared to me.
Well, only around 4 years, so not.
I know, so that makes a difference when you're kids.
But when you're growing up, though, that's a huge 14 to 18. I mean, that's a big one. Yep.
But I was 14 years old when I first saw this in the theater. That would make you. I'm no mathematical
11,
genius. That would make you
10
about
10 or 11, depending
10 or
on
11.
your birthday.
10.
Yep. Well, I remember going to see this with David Prince at the mall, or the movie theater in the mall. It's weird, and he invited me to go. I have a crazy memory. I can't remember stupid, silly. I can't remember someone's name from yesterday, and then I remember going to the movie. Like his family invited me to go. When you're a kid, obviously you get invited to go with the family. So, we went out to dinner and got to see Superman the movie. So it was like a cool. And you didn't see the movies that much back when you were a kid. I don't know. I just very you didn't go all the time. So it was just a huge event to go see, and it was a ton of hype. I mean, you'll talk about it was a big deal when this movie came out. So it was everyone was really anticipating it, and they delivered on the goods. So it was a twofer.
I mean, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. And what was it? Elijah Billis said, saw it in 1978 for the life of me. Can't remember the holiday season surrounding it. Yeah, it was December, and it was actually delayed for a while. Supposed to come out a little bit earlier than that, but things went on, and stuff happened. So I went. Our whole family went, of course, down here in Louisiana to a theater that no longer exists, of course. And for years, we've been seeing the ads on DC Comics and pictures in DC Comics and all, things like that. But obviously, as media was much different back then.
Yep.
So all this contest, you could be in the Superman movie, all this kind of stuff. But really, the pictures look great and everything, but still you don't know. I mean, at the time, I was, of course, a huge fan of not only the Superman, the character in general, of course, in comics and cartoons, but the George Reeves Superman television show. And
both the black and white and color versions.
The Adventures of Superman. Yeah, one or two seasons in black and white. I think it was one or two, and then it was 7 seasons overall. So most of it was in color. But I loved it either way. I liked Phyllis Coates. I thought was cuter than Noelle Neal, but Noelle Neal was a lovely.
Well, of course, she made the movie, so Noelle.
Yeah, she did the movie Superman and the Mole Men. But then Phyllis Coates did 1 season of that show. But anyway, so you keep hearing this name, Christopher Reeve, this new guy. I'm like, wait a minute, George Reeve, Christopher Reeve. It's confusing. How'd that happen?
Yep.
There we go with our first lovely bot of
RK is here. He'll nuke her.
I'll just block him. It's cool.
Yep.
Oh, did I block somebody by accident? Goddamn thing moved on me. I hope I didn't block anybody.
Well, hopefully it wasn't Steve Mitchum because it's either me or Steve Mitchum.
I blocked you.
You blocked me. Yeah.
God damn, at least you're here.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do I unblock you?
I think if you can see one of my messages, you can click on it and unblock it.
I jumped and I blocked you of all people. Man, God damn it. I hate these damn things.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right, well, tell me how.
All right, I'm leaving now. I think. Well, Eric K is in the chat, but I think he said if I'm.
Or can I?
Let's see. Let me try to type a message.
I blocked you, not hid you. Was this a difference?
Yeah. Anyone see me typing hi? Probably not.
He said he unhid you.
Okay, but I'm no longer a mod though.
Why not?
Let me just see. Type hi. Now maybe you can mod me again. Yep.
I'll mod you again. Oh shit.
That's all right.
See, this goddamn thing jumps on me. I hate
these dumb, yeah, no, I know. Yeah, well, these damn bots messing us up too. Yeah, what a pain.
Yeah. Thank you, Eric. I see it there and I go, so I can knock it out quick, and then I do that. All right, let's say something. Did you say something?
No, I was just saying. Then you can remod me when you have a chance to.
But are you unhidden though?
I'm unhidden now. I guess people can see me.
I gotta find
I'm
you.
no longer the invisible man. Yep.
Okay, but I gotta find you to unmod you.
I guess to
mod you.
Yep.
Let's see here. Oh, there you are. You wrote something. There you go.
Yep. I need my superpowers restored.
Superpowers restored. God, it's so annoying.
Yeah, well, it's stupid. I mean, you wish. I mean, we're on YouTube's platform, which is for the most part a pretty decent platform. But yeah, you'd think they'd find a way to get rid of these bots, or I guess it's a never-ending war, battle over truth, justice, and spam.
Dave Bob, why do you ask? You definitely here. I see you.
Dave Bob, we can see you, Dave Bob.
Says, "Am I alive?" Now that I don't know. I couldn't tell you whether you're alive or not. That's above my pay grade, brother. But I see words typed in under Dave Bob. You could be a Dave Bob imposter. You could be a robot like Picard is now. You could be a synthesoid. We don't know. We'll see. Oh shit. By the way, the opening of Superman, the movie.
Yep.
I go to the theater, and of course, I didn't know exactly what to expect. I was excited by all the ads. You got to see commercials. You will believe a man can fly and all this stuff. And I'm sitting there, and I talk about this all the time. Pretty interesting opening with the little black and white scene with the little girl's voice reading in the decade of the 19th. And blah blah. Reading about the Daily Planet's.
That was in the theater, right? That wasn't added later. That was in the theater.
That was in the theater.
Yeah.
So sitting there, and cause you can't keep your mods. Just kidding. Cause you can't keep your mods. I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean there. Anyway,
maybe because a joke about what happened. I guess, yeah.
Anyway, when that big red ass blast onto the screen, it's still to this day, 43 years later, to this day, I guess. Now again, or at least roughly to this day. I mean, who knows? Back then, release dates were different everywhere, so who knows? Can I give you the exact date that I got to see it? I was opening night, but that doesn't mean it opened on this day. But we'll just use this.
You don't have your ticket stub. I've been saving my ticket stubs for years, but I don't have those.
I don't have that one.
None of that. And of course, now there's no more ticket stubs. You've got an email from the computer sometimes. Yeah.
I love how Steve Mitchum and I quote this movie at each other a lot. By the way, he's quoting it in the chat like you do quotes and stuff. Yeah. When that big red S came up there and blasted on that screen, it changed me forever. I was already geeked enough. I thought I was geeked enough, and then those wonderful big blue letters and that unbelievable John Williams score.
Yep.
And then finally we get that moody music on Krypton. This is no fantasy, no careless product of wild imagination. No, my good friends. The specific charges listed herein against the individuals. What's it there? What's it? $2 debit. Okay. Sorry about that, Eric. Thank you for the $2 super chat, Eric. If only Clobber could delete Clobby can delete Wesley so easily. Yes. Snail Messiah. Hello there. Thank you, Eric, for that. I wish. Anyway.
I just want to say real quick. Yeah, I just was watching part of the beginning of the movie, and I mean, just the credits are awesome. Like the way the letters
I sit through
fly
it many
in.
times. Every 18 time I went to see the theater, that was my favorite part. I think
The credits are great. I mean, just the swooping in. It's like the people's, of course, it starts with Marlon Brando, and and the music, and it like just it really gets you into the movie, and then the special effects right away are really good.
It's just incredible.
Oh, I think it's the best credits ever. I think with even better than Star Wars. I think with although the Star Wars opening maybe is number 2 with that crawl, but the Superman, so great.
I'll give you a little bit of trivia on the opening sequence where the Phantom Zone criminals, soon to be Phantom Zone criminals, are on trial. Zod, Non, and Ursa. Do you know why that? Did you know specific? Maybe says the specific charges listed here and against the individuals. That ultimate aim of sedition. Anyway, do you know what they actually did?
No, I don't remember now.
He attempted to take over Krypton with an army of Bizarros.
Oh, was it Bizarros?
All right, I need to add a little context to that.
All right, wait, I don't remember that one.
Anyone remember? And I had him on my show like in my first year back 2009 or something. The Answer Man, Bob Rozakis, in the back of Direct Currents, in the back of DC Comics, the Daily Planet and Direct Currents, little news thingy that they had in the back of those planets. I mean, the back of those of DC Comics back then. He was asked the Answer Man. Oh, LT's leaving. LT, Avon lives, long live the Legion, dude.
Night, LT.
He was asked why the criminals were on trial in the movie. And that's what the Answer Man said. He said, for trying to overthrow Krypton with an army of Bizarros. That's what he said. And he's the Answer Man.
Well,
so there you go.
I didn't think there were Bizarros on Krypton, but you guess you learn something every day from the Answer Man.
There weren't, but there were, because Bizarros, basically Bizarro first appeared in the Superboy comic. By the way, since when does canon the comics matter to any movie? Look, that's one thing that always kind of aggravated me, but because I bring that up as a joke, whether it's true or not. But is Crystal Krypton took getting used to me.
Yeah, because that's all brand new too, everyone. So, I mean, the Fortress of Solitude and didn't look like that in the movie, but now the comics actually always, for the most part, have adopted that kind of crystalline look, and the computer memory crystals. I could use that for my computer instead of a hard drive, though. That'd be pretty cool. But that was really futuristic back then. And I thought they did a good job too with the opening in terms of making Krypton look otherworldly, and a lot of times the futuristic stuff they get it. I shouldn't say get it wrong, but it looks goofy, or like, as much as I love Buck Rogers, the old serials, it's it's a it's a campy 30s vision, but this holds up pretty well, I think. Even just watching
Flash
it now.
Gordon Krypton. I like Flash Gordon Buck Rogers Krypton, but
you like that, yeah.
Kal-El, I don't know. The red crystal Zod broke was supposed to be for. I know who would know. Jim Bowers would know. That guy knows everything about these movies. That guy's got he's got a big book coming out. He's been working on for years. Of course, he was on the set. He knew Richard Donner very well. He knew Christopher Reeve. He's done extensive research on all the Christopher Reeve movies and stuff. Books about it. Does a podcast about it. That guy's hardcore, man.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Snort says Krypton looked like a polar bear's nightmare in that movie.
Yeah,
that's the one thing. It didn't look like there were any big cities. That was the one. As I was just rewatching it, the one thing that looked kind of straight. No big cities. Was like they were all under the ice, or the costumes of the Jor-El is wearing. It looks like they're kind of wearing like reflective tinfoil, and so I mean it's kind of cool and futuristic, but.
when it
It's
comes,
the luminescence, but
what,
it was okay.
put it to you like this: when it comes to the origins of the two biggest superheroes who ever existed, Superman and Batman, it just requires certain mental gymnastics that you have to deal with as a fan. Otherwise, they'll drive you crazy in terms of their origin. In the case of Batman, for example, you have to come to terms with the fact that a bazillionaire is walking down a dark alley without no protection, just his family,
Yep.
even in the 30s. Okay. And you have to come to terms with a civilization like Krypton only has one rocket ship. And even though, sure, they didn't believe the destruction was coming, you still thought there would have been a couple of ships here and there. But I mean, some of them could have gotten away. Oh, wait a minute. What am I saying? According to Jeff Johns, thousands of them gotten away, but that's another dumb story.
Well, I guess then, it's compressed. I'm assuming when Jor-El says he won't leave. He says he won't leave Krypton, so he just had to.
Well, my wife will leave Krypton.
Yeah. So, I mean, does that mean that there was a long time frame in between when the planet started to destroy? I know he said within 30 days, but it seemed like the planet started, just totally fall apart within, a few minutes of him saying that. So, but yeah, it sounds like they obviously had space flight and, could have prepared for it. But,
well, I mean, in other words, remember, Jor-El starts preparing. He had the ship prepared, granted, but it's still this one little ship. When he had to promise not to leave, but does it really make sense that it's the only ship that could leave pretty quickly like that? Because when the destruction starts, and by the way, I don't care about that one iota. I'm just saying you can't. You get older and you think about silly crap like that. That's
geek nitpicking, but and plus that ship
they
couldn't fit. They couldn't fit in that ship either, so there had to be another.
But there had to be other ones.
Yeah, I think there would have been other ones, but that's why it seemed like it happened so fast that no one could get away, I guess. Or
there is a pretty good comic though, an Elseworld story. Oh, I'm trying to remember the name of it now. It came out in the 2000s at some point. Carrie Bates, I think, wrote it. Believe it or not, a long time old school Bronze Age Superman writer wrote a story. Something Superman, not Superman family. They'll come back to me. The name of it, where all three of them went to Earth instead of just Kal-El.
Well, that's a cool story,
and it was a pretty good story. I actually liked it. What was the name of that thing? Someone will remember it, but it was a pretty good Elseworld story. Superman, not Super Family. What was the name of that damn thing?
I don't remember, but
someone
that sounds
like a
great story.
Yeah, because thank you.
It's a great idea.
Last Family of Krypton. Claude Parrish for the win. Yep, that's the name of it. I thought it was pretty interesting. It's been a long time since I read it. Minimus, thank you. There you go. God, I know. Anyway, if you ever see that one, it was pretty interesting. It says, but anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, those are all nitpicking stuff. When you got to kind of, where it's a movie about someone who can fly and leap a tall building. Well, so
that's why I don't like realism when it comes to guys. Exactly my point. In other words, by the way, it's irresistible to talk about it and joke around about it.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
But as far as when it comes to that kind of stuff, I can't stand people. Selective realism really gets me. Like, take the stupid. What happens in almost every live action Batman movie? They'll go out of their way to give him such armor because they say, well, it's more realistic. It's more realistic. The guy can't move. If you really need, realism in your stuff, you're probably not watching the right entertainment. But the guy couldn't move with that kind of armor.
But actually, they say that in one of the movies too, right? Doesn't he tell? He says, I can't really move. Can you make the armor lighter? And he's like, well, you'll be more vulnerable. And he's like, I don't care. I need to move. Yeah. And,
he does do that, but he's still got armory looking stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you're dealing with a character, and Byrne used to aggravate with me with this, and others did. When you're dealing with a character that's going to be moving mountains, or as with the Donner film, basically clean and jerks California, I'm not too concerned with realism. Like last night, we were on with our great buddy Toxic on Toxic Tuesday with our good buddy Nicholas. Hail to Nick Weiser, and I guess people were. It's human nature to do this when it's something you don't like as much. I love this movie, so I don't care how ridiculous it is.
Yeah,
I actually
right.
like Die Hard 2 a lot, and I don't care how ridiculous it is. But people were picking it to pieces, which was fine. It was fun. I think it's, but they weren't picking the previous week to pieces, which could be picked just as much because they liked it. So because they liked it, they were giving it more leeway for the ridiculousness of it. And I'm like, well, but if you're going to be fair, both of those movies have some absolutely unbelievably ridiculous bits in them. And you know what? I mean, again, by the way, I'm not saying it's not fun to do that. It is fun to do that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, but it's selective.
Well, that's why I always love superheroes when they're kind of out of the water or they're undercover. Like they've got like the scene in the original Batman movie where, Bruce Wayne grabs a silver tray and then Joker shoots him and he's got to pretend, not to have, not to be Batman or, right. I didn't really like Batman Begins that much as a movie, which people find strange. But I like the one scene I liked was in the prison where he's just beating the crap out of everyone, just, not wearing a suit. He's just showing what a badass, Bruce Wayne, aka Batman is, in that prison fight. So I wanted more of that kind of stuff with the training and the fighting. But, and then you're right. When Batman has become too much like an Iron Man. No offense, D. Bud Martin, the Man of Iron there, no. But he almost, they keep giving him more and more powers with that suit, where he'd have some tech, obviously, but not like he has in the movies. Well, it's over the top.
Hello, Aaron Baker. Welcome. Good to see you. Now, here's the thing about that. Yes, we've seen some clips from the Sparkly Bat Boy movie where he's getting shot full on, and just letting bullets, absorbing the impact and everything of bullets being shot on his chest plate and whatever. I'm like, no. And again, you could say, well, he did it in the 89 movie. When they did it, they shot him and stuff like that. But at least it knocked him back and stuff like that. It knocked him down. And he did have armor, which kind of doesn't work for me either. But, this is really, he's taking a shower of bullets in some of those scenes. And he's just like Iron Man, just bouncing off like it's nothing.
And no one ever shoots you in the face either, right?
No, of course not. Don't even get Clobby started on Superman, the animated series, where he hates how depowered that Supes was to make him more. Yeah, I hate it. I do hate that. Burton started that crap, but Denny and Tim brought it to a ridiculous level. I do like that show, but it aggravates me when you depower Superman too much. I can't stand it when they make him like on that show, Superman the Animated Series, good show though it was. I mean, he was practically an invalid at times, and that really friggin' aggravated me. But we'll take a brief time out from talking the Superman movie just for a second to show you something that Minimus gave me last night. New acquisition.
And you accepted it?
I had no choice.
Awesome. You had no choice. He was going to clobber you if you didn't take it.
He couldn't clobber himself.
Very nice. Very nice. Santa better be bringing me one of those. Or that's awesome. Yeah. And you freed him from the box. Good.
Always free him from the box. And then the Hulk said, "Why'd you free him from the box?" Oh my!
Wow, it looks a lot smaller than Hulk, but I think the Thing would win.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
That's true. That's true.
Thing Hulk should always be. That's why I can't stand it when it's a Thing figure that's too big for the Hulk. It should be that dynamic. So.
Yep.
Tim's Talk. Good to see you, my friend.
That looks really nice. And they haven't. What's behind the Hulk? Is the Hulk cheating? Is he? He's got some spices going there.
That's the stuff I was telling you about. That's Tony Cheshire's spice that I'm telling you about. It'll spice up anything.
It's a Hulk secret weapon.
And some community coffee behind him there as well.
That looks like a great figure. Yep. Is it the same as the Walgreens figure? You think?
I need to compare him. I need to compare him. I think this is a little bit different. I think he's a better figure. I'm not crazy about the white trim shorts, but
yeah.
And of course, I love the packaging.
Yeah, the retro packaging's awesome.
They found High Evolutionary and Psycho Man, but I can't get those. But it's Benji, so thank you, Minimusness.
Gotta have Benji. Yep.
You were humble and lovable.
Very nice friend. Very nice friend.
Wouldn't go that far. Matthew Pounder. What's up, dude? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see here. So, where are we at? Hello there. Already somebody popped in there. Let me make sure. Okay. Matthew's good to see you. Thank you there. All right. So what happened? Somebody said something. Oh yeah, you saw Underdog in there? Oh,
it's the Underdog.
I do have him. Yeah. Let's see. Where to put it?
I see Nova.
There's Nova. I do have Underdog, but I didn't think you could see him there.
I see Nova on the top left, but
speed of lightning, roar of thunder. I don't see him in the back there, Steve, but I do have him. Why? Okay.
Love Underdog too. Yep. Just hide Mom's pills, though. That's the only thing. Because I wish she caught me going into her pills. I want to be. I want to be able to fly like Underdog.
Did I quote Underdog? I didn't even realize it. Damn! I hate when I quote stuff and don't even realize it. Damn it! God dang it! I don't know what's. So I went about 18 times. I rounded out at 18 because I never know if I lost count. I know it was more than that. What I used to do, as you know, movies back in 1978 and slash 79, tended to hang around at. Oh, I did. There you go. You were humble and lovable. See, I can't even keep track of my own damn quoting. God,
Underdog quoted you.
Thank you, Steve. You were humble and lovable. So back then, of course, what I used to do, this was $2 super chat from Eric Kale. I can't do that. I know it's something along the lines of when criminals in this world appear and break the laws that they should fear it and frighten all far and near. But no, when frighten all who see it here, the cry goes out for far and near for underdog. Underdog. Speed of lightning, power of the roar of thunder. I hate when I mess up lines. Fighting all who rob or thunder. Okay, that's all you want. Fighting all who rob or thunder. I can't do it, man. I'm not Doomcock. Doomcock does a great. Not only does he sing brilliantly, he doesn't mess up the lines like I do, and he has sang Underdog on many occasions.
Well, that was very nice of Eric to
Eric.
Get you to do that. Thank you, Eric.
You're too kind. We're going to have our Christmas gathering for the Global Geek Gang pretty soon. And I am going to get Arwen to sing the Tony Stark Iron Man song.
Nice.
Have you ever read DC Elseworlds Annual 3? Elseworlds Annual 3 it tells the story of where Jor-El convinces the Kryptonian Council to flee Krypton, and they end up ruling Earth. I don't think I've read that one. It's called Elseworlds Annual.
I don't remember that one. Let me look that one up.
Well,
I'm glad Jor-El wasn't so persuasive, I guess, then, right? Yeah.
There have been some really good Elseworlds. There's also been some really stupid ones. Do you remember that stupid-ass one where Baby Kal-El's ship landed about 20-something years or whatever before the Civil War?
No, I haven't heard that one.
And he was raised by, I think he was raised by Northerners or whatever. And when he gets old enough, there's this stupid scene where he goes and flies over the war that's going on. He grabs General Lee and brings him and flies him over the war and tells him how, gives him a lecture about how this war he caused or some kind of crap. I forgot exactly what happened, but I have a buddy of mine. I forget the name of that comic, by the way. But we were at
one that says Elseworld Superman Volume 1.
No, that might be from a collection.
Oh, it's a collection, but it has that story in it. Because it's Superman in the Civil War is on the cover.
Okay, there you go. And we were at some con, and a buddy of mine who hated that stupid story was talking to a comic book artist. I can't remember which artist it was now, and he was talking. you know, but he was talking to not only that, but the guy who wrote it, and I can't remember. It wasn't Roger Stern. Maybe it was Roger Stern. I can't remember. I like Roger Stern sometimes, but whoever it was, my friend, of course, was very angry about it. He's a Civil War historian, buff, and all that kind of stuff. And he was talking about that plot, and this comic artist sitting there, I'll never forget it, heard it, and I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on his name now. He looked over and said, "Who wrote that stupid shit?" And the guy said, the writer said, "I did." He said, "That's ridiculous." That's like, wow. Why can't I remember their date? See, my memory is garbage.
Well, one story is Superman: A Nation Divided. That's if that's the comic that I'm looking at.
Yeah, that's might be it.
For the Civil War one, but I'm trying to. Kyle's going to send me the.
It was so simplistic.
I guess he says DC Elseworlds is the name of the series.
Yeah, I know. So there was a title called DC Elseworlds. Aaron Baker has a question. Says, "Hello, Clobberin Times. Hello there, Aaron. What was your first superhero comic you collected, and your first superhero model you collected? Model as in like an action figure or something?" Well, my first comic was actually a Power Records, Fantastic Four Power Records. The way it began, which was I found out it came with a book and record. I think that was the first closest to I had. No, I had something earlier than that. I think one of my earliest ones was probably a Fantastic Four reprint issue from Marvel's Greatest Comics, maybe. But I think it's either that one or that one I'm telling you about, the Power Records. Oh, I mean, some people could tell you their exact first comic book. I wish I could. They all blur together.
I can tell you my first superhero one.
But and my first superhero, well, I did have superhero model, but as far as just if you mean toys or figures, I bought the Mego superhero figures of the 70s, like the first Superman and Batman, of course. Go ahead.
Well, my first was, Ed told the story before, my grandfather would bring comics back on the weekend. He was working as a taxi cab dispatcher. And there was a newsstand next to him, so he'd bring me back like Archie, Richie Rich, and kids, kids comics like that. And then he brought me back Adventure Comics 453.
Whoa!
And so that was my first one. And Superboy was on the cover. He's
nice.
He's actually fighting Batgirl actually as a kid, and she somehow gets superpowers. So Barbara Gordon is punching Superboy. So if you Google Adventure 453, it's a cool cover.
That's wacky.
And it was a good story. It was a really good story. Nice. And I'm like, Grandpa's like, I want more of these. Like, bring me more of these. Not the Goat Casper ones and the the Scooby Doo's. As much as those are fun. But I'm like, I want superhero comics like Superboy. And then after that, I think the next week I got like X-Men 108. And that kind of, so they would bring me back,
There you go.
So, but it's ingrained in my brain that whenever I talk to you, I could, like, if I see when you're doing one of your shows, if I see, comic from the 70s, those few years he was bringing me back comics. Those covers are just, I never forget any of those covers. I instantly know, that was one of the first comics. Of course, I don't remember what my first Richie Rich comic, but I do remember my first superhero comic. It's one of my clearest memories of because I loved it so much. It was just so awesome.
Oliver Belamonte says, "Always good to see Oliver. I always watch the Superman movie on VHS. Every time I watch it, I always remember Gene Hackman's famous villain quote in Challenging Superman." Which one are you referring to in Challenging Superman? Well, his performance was extraordinary. I managed to get that bot there, Eric. I got one.
That one. You didn't block it.
They're using like human names.
Yeah, they're sneaky.
Yeah, but we know they're replicants.
It's not Captain Deckard Spock, I'm sure. Yeah.
No, it's not him. He's not a replicant. He thinks he's a replicant, but he's not. So well, Elseworlds is Kal-El, Elseworlds is good is actually a good subject for a show that I've planned pretty soon. Speaking of Superman, and of course we're still talking. It's the 43rd anniversary of Superman the movie from 1978. I'm thinking a week from 2 weeks from tonight. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I'm trying to get together with my good buddy Max Von Priestley, MVP. We're going to review the very last story that featured my Superman, the Superman I grew up loving, the golden sort of, but mostly silver and bronze age Superman. As a story by Alan Moore, Kurt Swan, George Perez, and others, called Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow. Now we might review the other Alan Moore Superman stories as well. I don't know if we'll do those later. We might just stick to that two-parter and maybe do the other ones later. So that's the sad, tearful Bronze Age goodbye, the bittersweet goodbye to my Superman.
Yep.
Any Superman after that is not really the one I love. There are other iterations, of course, and the Christopher Reeve Superman counts. But after 1986, any Superman that appears in the comic isn't really the one I love. I mean, you're not
gonna say you don't like any of the stories, right?
Yeah, no. What I'm gonna say is, after 1980, everything he was in after 1986 that they're calling Superman, I always called him Airsat Superman. And I'll tell you, I didn't start giving his titles a proper chance. And by the way, I was married to a woman at the time that still loved Superman so much she made me buy those crappy titles I didn't like, the post Burn stuff, and I bought them for her. But anyway, somewhere around the mid 2000s, when I'd gone back to DC after leaving them for about 12 years, because they fixed Hal Jordan and they did some repair. Yep. I started buying some of those Superman comics here and there. Johns did it for a while. Kurt Busiek, one of my favorite writers, did it for a while. I don't really like his stint that much. And so that was the point where I would buy Superman comics again. I loved All-Star Superman was the only thing I've really loved from that area mostly, although for the most part,
yep,
I could accept some different iterations after post Burn. But I mean, my Superman, in terms of when it comes to comic books, obviously there's this movie, there's the animated stuff here and there, but when it comes to comics, it's 1938 to 1986.
And then it's not your favorite. Yep.
Then it's not
your guy
not my
anymore.
Superman. That's why when that stupid Death of Superman crap came out, that so many of my good friends, by the way, that I love very much, that think fondly back on those times of that stupid Death of Superman gimmicky crap in the 90s, yep, and Nightfall for Batman and all that kind of garbage, like was it Xerox Hour? What they did to Hal Jordan, drivel like that.
You didn't like it when Kyle Rayner was the last surviving Green Lantern with all the power battery stored in him?
Coincidentally, I did not. Well guessed, well spotted. Mr. Grant Gregory, what's up, buddy? So, but remember, everyone, I'm not saying I've matured or anything, but I try to the point where I understand that, in all seriousness, I've made a lot of friends who are anywhere from 5 to 6 to 10 to 15 years younger than me, and a lot of it's about what your life experience. So a lot of people will like things that I didn't at that time, and aside from good-natured ribbing and going, I didn't like that crap, I respect that someone else grew up liking something that was not for me. Let's put it like that. Sax, you Hulk villain, what's up? If you see where I'm coming from. So even though I kid people, now I'm honest, I tell you what I think about it, but I do understand that it's someone else's experience. And so who am I to tell them, well, that's not valid or legit to them? But I will be honest on the other hand and say, look, if you grew up liking Kyle Rayner, I mean, we can still be pals, but I'm sorry, Kyle Rayner is a piece of poo-poo. If you grew up liking Byrne Superman, which is most people,
if you grew up then too, right? Yeah, but if depending on your generation too, right? Our buddy Ash, he said, his first experience with certain characters and IPs were certain things we don't like, but then he then you can grow to love the older stuff too, which is
It's
nice.
possible that does happen. But Pop Culture Republic, how you doing? But there's certain things. Like I say, we're all friends here, so we joke around about the things we like and dislike and disagree on. However, it is as inconceivable, and that word is, I do know what it means in this case, as inconceivable as it is that anyone who claims to be a Superman fan could not at least love the performance and the casting of Christopher Reeve as Superman. And there have been those fools. They do exist. Them again, I just like, well, I'm not. I don't. The words coming out of your face make no sense to me. Andy Masterson, welcome. But they exist. I've heard them. Now, again, I'm not Henry Cavill. If he ever got a chance to play the actual Superman in a real costume, which he won't, by the way, would be an okay casting. Man of Steel, though, is not Superman. It's just not. In any form, is it? But some people like it, and if you like it, that's fine. I can't even. I don't know, but the people who don't show the proper respect to Richard Donner's Superman the movie. Now, look, in order for it to get that respect, then we do have to be real about the shortcomings of Superman 2, 3, and 4, especially.
You're not going to ruin Superman 2 for me now, are you? That was one of my greatest cinema experiences with my family. I'm
going to ruin the hell out of Superman 2. Superman 2, my friends, is probably in a tie with Rehash of the Jedi, at least for the time, the two most disappointing and just tragic movie experiences of my life as a young geek. Because waiting, and at the time I didn't know all the backstory about how the Superman 1 and 2 were filmed together and all that stuff.
Yep.
And about Richard Lester being brought in to hack it out. All I knew was it's 1981 and I'm getting to see the follow-up to my all-time favorite movie ever. I mean, I vacillate between Superman the movie and Empire Strikes Back, which is my favorite movie ever,
Yeah.
But so I get to see Superman 2, and I was in denial the first night I saw it, dude. I'm like, it was great. I was trying to convince myself it was great.
I loved it. And then what happened?
And then I went back again that next day, because we saw it late that night. I went back a couple of times, and 2 or 3 times in, I'm like, this movie is really.
So that was your problem. You've only seen it once, like me. And then
that's right.
You would have loved it.
You've seen it more than once.
I know, but back then I saw it once, and then I probably saw it, either when it came on TV or VHS.
I went back a few times, and I just kept getting more and more pissed off. And the Donner cut. Now the Lester cut. The Donner cut is really weird, and we're going to do a deep dive on the Donner cut soon. I'm going to try to get Michael French with Retro Blasting to do that with me, and anyone else might have a few of us. I don't know. It needs some. I don't know. I loved Richard Donner so much. I don't know if I want to beat up on it, but man, it's still better than the Lester cut. But it does some things at the end that drive me insane.
Well, the time travel was originally in the Donner cut of Superman 2, right? The ending.
Well, it's in the like I said, I don't want to spoil that for anyone who hasn't seen the Donner cut yet.
Oh, sorry. Well,
no. But yeah, it's See, there's someone right there. Hasn't. Kal-El says, I actually got back in the comics because of Death of Superman arc, as well as Nightfall Saga, Batman. Still, I understand when you're coming from. Yeah, it's just Kal-El. It's just an age thing. So I'm an old curmudgeon, and I admit that. And it's it was at that time when that death of the post-burn Superman, the post-crisis Superman and Nightfall, when those two gimmicks came out back to back, I'd already eschewed, I suppose you should say, given up mainstream superhero comics for the most part. I'd kind of dumped them because they were really getting bad to me. And I was seeking my comic book entertainment elsewhere. Let's put it like that. And I was pretty upset with what they were doing with most mainstream comics. I still love superheroes in that genre, But the best superhero stuff at that point was being done by Valiant for that short run. They were really great in the early 90s. And there were a few other comics I read, but most of them wasn't superhero stuff at the time. And I just, but look, it was a phenomenon. And let me tell you something, Kal-El, no matter what I think of it, I know there are many wonderful friends I've made who were younger than me that really love that stuff. And it was a big deal to them. And you're not the only one. My good buddy Loki, many of them are. And it's just kind of, like I said, it's about your life experience and what you were doing at your time. At the time, that's one of the wonderful things about comic books and the art of comic books. They live in our souls if you're a comic book geek, and in our minds and in our hearts, and they bring us back in time. They're time travels, just like the spinning rack time machine. They are comics themselves. Our comic book buying experiences are time traveling memories. We they make up our existence, really, because they bring us back to different times in our lives that were good and fun, that we loved. To whether it's this film, which brings me back to one of the most wonderful times of my life, or where it's the comics you were buying in the 70s, 80s, or 90s. Phantom Outsider.
Yeah, and then it was more innocent too. I mean, plus I was, being 4 years younger, when you're, like we said, when you're a teenager, 4 years is a big, there's a huge difference between 11 and 15, even with 4 years. And so you view things differently too. So like we went to see Superman 2. We got to go out for pizza, and we went to see the movie. It was like mom and dad were like, let's go out. We didn't get to go see that many movies, and the budget was really tight. And but my dad had they had started a new business, so it was kind of like, wow, you're taking us to see a movie. And my dad liked like Superman, and knew I would like it, so it's just one of those nights. And he loved, and I loved, with that fight, that superhero fight. And you're right, I guess, when you don't maybe pay attention to things, you see things twice. Or like Star Trek 5, we all loved Star Trek 5 until we took a half hour later and we drove home from the movie theater and said maybe it wasn't so good. But there's also the thing that got me back into collecting comics was FF310 Pineapple Things to Come. There was that cover. That
Spike
cover was
thing?
in the Spike thing. Yeah, that cover was in the bookstore. Like, what the hell did they do to Ben Grimm? Right?
Thingosaurus.
So I bought it. Yeah, that was the most expensive comic I ever bought, because it led to thousands and more. Because I had stopped. I'd stopped collecting for a few years. I was off. It was stopped, and I was in college, and I was in the bookstore, and I saw that, and I'm like, what's going on with the FF? Maybe I should start buying comics again. And I started subscribing to comics. So, that's one of the other comics that's pivotal in my collection. I know, we don't like the pineapple thing. It's a ridiculous look. Although if you saw the Komodo custom that our buddy Al had, he commissioned a pineapple thing. I don't know if you saw that on Twitter.
Yeah,
the guy
I saw
did
it.
Guy did an incredible job. I mean,
it looks amazing, but I hate
it. Looks amazing. I know. Yeah.
But why?
But so bad things can be good sometimes, right?
Well, I mean, sort of, maybe. I don't know. I have tough. By the way, Stuart Mitchell, I would, it's definitely watch the Donner cut if you can. I'd be interested in your opinion on that. It's definitely worth watching if you're a Superman fan and you're a fan of the Christopher Reeve films. Hello there, the great Nick Weiser's here, by the way. What's up, bro?
Hey, buddy. Hey, Nick Weiser.
But you have the Donner cut, I'm sure you've watched
watch it. Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, I bought that on Blu-ray. Yeah, I was really excited to see that because, hey, it's a new version of Superman. And then, years later, like you said, you found out about all the controversy and what the Salkins had done, and trying to pay the actors for one movie when they were going to do two movies at once, and all the behind the scenes. And then Donner getting basically removed from the movie, and so at least it's not the same. As the Snyder cut, I think, in terms of controversy, but it was good to see it years later.
Here again on Snyder Butt. It's called the Snyder Butt.
Snyder Butt. You're gonna put me in the Phantom Zone?
Yes. I already banished you once tonight by accident.
Right.
But anyway, no, look, I hear you, but it's weird. It's to watch, but it's definitely worth watching, and it's still better. I think, other than, well, I won't say why. I won't spoil my problem with it. Other than a certain thing in it, It's still way better than the Lester cut, but then that's a low bar. Richard Lester cut is really ridiculous. When the extended cut of Superman 2 came out on network television, and they added a bunch of stuff to it the same way they did the first movie, 2 parts, 2 nights or whatever, I believe.
And they just threw in a lot of scenes that were not.
He threw in a lot of crap. Yeah. Well, there's one, there's a scene in it where Non murders a child. He kills a kid. You remember that?
I don't remember that, but
remember when they go to the town, Houston, the small town, Houston, Illinois, whatever the hell it was. When the villains first went over and took over the town and fought the army, and all, before the army got there and stuff, this little kid who's, what's his name, General Zod, is levitating his father with his stupid finger levitating powers. Okay. And he goes, "Please let my daddy down, General. General, please let my daddy down." So I don't know who dubbed this voice, but anyway, so he lets him down, and that's that in a theatrical version, but in the TV cut, the kid gets on a horse and goes riding out to go get for help, whatever, and Non tears something atop, like the police type siren or whatever, and throws it at the kid in the existence and just destroys the kid. And in the distance, and it boom, big explosion, it kills the kid.
And they said the kid is dead. Not like he's knocked off the horse.
No, they say a line. He was only a boy, and then Ursa says he will never be a man.
Wow.
It's like,
because I heard they just want to make it long. They did that with TMP too, where they wanted to make it longer to stretch it out for commercial reasons too, and get people to watch it. So
but did Hack Snyder go back in time and make that happen?
I don't know, but I know they put like when I was reading about the movie, there were a lot of scenes that there's a reason there's movie scenes left on the cutting room floor. It's fun to watch on a DVD as like an outtake special feature. But there's certain things you don't want, like that. You don't want to see that in the movie. So,
well, the director's cut of Superman the movie, and believe me, all right. You have at least 3 cuts, at least 3. I could be understating it, everyone. You have a theatrical cut of Superman the movie. You have the ABC cut of the movie, which went for 2 nights, right?
Yep.
But there's also one that came out in the early 2000s, Richard Donner's director's cut, where it's almost a combo. It's most of the stuff that's in that that's in the ABC cuts left in there, rearranged a little bit, and it has a couple of new scenes, like one where he managed to patch together a scene where he's in costume right after that first time Superman makes his debut in Metropolis and saves Lois and all that stuff. When he talks to Jor-El, and I don't know if you've seen that. I have.
I haven't watched it lately, but
yeah. So anyway, that was.
I've seen it, but
later though in that movie, he added, like you were just talking about, he added a lot of scenes that weren't even on the ABC version that would last forever, that no one needed in the movie, like that went on for nothing. You watched? Yeah, I watched. I've also watched Hawkeye. We'll be talking about that soon. Not tonight, but I mean,
not tonight. Yeah,
no.
I thought this last episode was slightly better, but the 4th episode really pissed me off. But
yeah, one more to go. Then we can still.
My son was supposed to came home today. He was supposed to watch it with me, and he watched it after his final. And I yelled at him tonight. I said, we're supposed to watch Hawkeye together. So he's grounded. No, he's 19. I can't ground him, but
that's father abuse.
Yeah, he wanted to watch it with me, so I said I'll wait to watch. That's kind of like our thing, watching superhero stuff. It's like, oh, Dad, I'm sorry, I was bored today after finals. I had to wait for my, take my ride with my friends, so I watched it. I'm like, you're grounded. You have to help me finish putting up all the ornaments on the tree tomorrow. So that's all good.
Yeah, I agree with what you and Nick said. 4th episode was bad. 5th episode was at least a little better, but it's still like now they're still jerking around. And the last episode they expect to wrap everything up, and it's just going to be, even if it's not terrible, it'll be like, Okay, you dicked
Too
around for a
fast.
while, and it just shows nothing. It's just a big nothing when you really get down to it, and that's what it's going to be.
Pizza
Um,
Dog is excellent though.
yeah, I like the dogs. I love doggies. The Paris storyline was added to the beginning of Superman 2. That's right, and it's not in the Donner cut. The Phantom Zone was originally shattered by a nuclear missile of that Superman that one of the ones that Superman put out into space or something. So,
Yeah,
yeah, that's right. They did totally change that. Mark needed.
I love that
Was it
Paris
true that
opening. That was great. Yeah,
that's the Lester cut though? That's not
yeah,
the
yeah.
Donner cut because it was pretty stupid. Hackman only did Superman the movie because is it true that Hackman only did Superman the movie because Marlon Brando was in it? I don't think that was true, but it could be. He did it for money. He got second billing in the first movie.
Yeah, Brando was all about the money back then too. I mean, it was just
No, it was
this
talking about
amazing
Hackman though,
story.
but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, there's an amazing. Yeah, I know, but I'm saying that's why I got second billing too. There's an amazing. Of course, he was probably the biggest actor at the time. But when you read
Right.
about Brando, and I think he got paid, word for word, he was the highest paid actor in history, I guess, and at that point,
Right.
for Superman 1, and then I guess for the little teeny bit of his voice they used in 2 because he wouldn't appear in 2. And Hackman, I'm sure too, is a great great actor,
Sorry.
but that's all right. Yeah, it seemed to be Otis's first role.
That's a good one. Yep. Otisburg.
Those damn snail
Otisburg.
eaters. Sorry, Snail Messiah.
Steve Mitchum and I will have, quotable movies is a show is actually a subject for a show I want to do one of these days. And Superman the movie, the Richard Donner, of course, is one of the most quotable movies ever. There's so many quotes we throw at each other from it. And again,
Yeah,
it's just, I mean, this film tells the origin beautifully. It takes its time. It's just a wonderful, wonderful telling of the origin. You could make the case. Look, this is as much as I love it, I do entertain some of the criticisms as if, for example, we get a Luthor, sort of an iteration of Luthor, and then you kind of, as funny as Otis is, you almost want to go, did you have to add kind of a little too much, maybe too much comedy to it? Of course, Miss Tessmacher, I love, but Valerie Perrine. So what are you gonna say?
and Hackman pulls it off because he's such a great actor. Yeah,
but really, I don't disagree with some criticisms like, hey, really, you're just going to end this epic where the whole thing with just California and stuff, but instead of him fighting a villain, but that's okay because they were setting it up for villains after that, and it told the origin beautifully. It introduced the character of Superman as wonderfully as you possibly could do it. It showed us the flying that we'd never seen anything before. It was huge. That I don't mind the way it ended. I don't even mind him. I love how people always refer to it as turning back time. It's not, well, but it's not. See, at that time, I remember people were really bitching about it. And I was arguing with people as a 14-year-old comic geek. Well, yeah, Superman flew back and forth all the time. No big deal. Whenever he felt like it, Superboy could just fly to the 30th century and hang out with the Legion.
Go with the Legion, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And how many times had I seen in a comic book where Superman just decided, I'm going to fly into the future. I'm going to fly into the past. So even though the effect of it was him flying around the world and quote unquote turning back the world, that was just a visual effect of it. So Superman going, and again, you could argue with, should he be able to do that crap? Well, Superman at that point was in the Bronze Age, and I'm watching it as a kid going, yeah, Superman can do that. I'm fine.
Well, so that's a good way to look at it, though. Instead, he's not really making the planet spin backwards. He's actually just going back through time.
Right. It's just an effect.
Traveling, and he's seeing it. But most people think the Earth is spinning backwards.
No, it's not. But they think that because, well, you can understand why. They didn't read a lot of comic books, and they just see that,
those damn normies.
The normies, it's the effect.
But the opening to that movie too. I didn't have the chance to rewatch the whole movie, but that's a great scene where he's they find him in the spaceship crashes. I didn't really like the spaceship, the Crystal, but then great scene where he's wearing the he's got the blanket on, and then Glenn Ford is just so great as Jonathan Kent, even though he's in it for just 30 seconds, but the gravitas that he has in that short clip that he's in there, and then Superman catches the truck, and they obviously then they adopt him, but just that the scene where they're making fun of him, he's a water boy at the football team and he can't use his powers. Although maybe he did. I hope no one got hurt with that football that he kicked, 5 miles. But you can see the frustration on the kid, and then when his dad, when Jonathan puts his arm around him and he's got that line, I'm not sure why you were put on this earth, but I know it's not to score touchdowns.
He says, "One thing I do know, son, is that you are here for a reason." Yep. I don't know what the reason is, but I do know one thing. It's not to score touchdowns. Now, John Byrne didn't understand that, even though he claimed to love the movie. And Nick Weiser, that rating system is really starting to, I don't know, be up thin ice. 10 is a movie, 9.7 the Superman movie. Okay, separating, no. It's there's no better Superman movie, so it's a 10. So, in fact, there's really no other Superman movie, but that's beside the point.
Was that like the Die Hards? You'd rate this 10 out of 10 Supermans, and then all the other movies are fractions of Superman, right?
Yep. This movie.
And then Superman Man of Steel would get an imaginary number, which can't be calculated.
See, this movie was there to introduce the character, and did it brilliantly. And well,
yeah, like Stuart saying, like Glenn Ford. I mean, just I've seen the movie a ton of times. Probably, I'm sure not as many as you, but he's John Kent, and he's on that screen, and you can see what that fatherly presence is, and then Superman's got the line that with all my powers, I couldn't save him, I couldn't do anything, as a younger kid, obviously, but
I was just messing with you, Nick. By the way.
Man of Steel gets a 4, imaginary 4, yeah, but it's just he's just so the movie starts firing on all cylinders, even though it's maybe for today's audience it's a little bit slow, I think, but that's not not a criticism. I think maybe with the shoot 'em up age, short attention span theater, maybe
age space,
might drag out for I gotta maybe make my kids watch it again, and we'll do a Superman night and see how they react to it. But it's just I love the characters and the lines, and Christopher Reeve, I mean, just is just so amazing with how he portrays that character. If you want, if it's okay, I could show that. I could show that video that I
don't want to show. I'm tired of showing videos and getting demonetized, no matter what we do.
Okay, we won't. Yeah.
What do you got?
We won't show.
Well,
no, that's all right. We won't do it. But remember when he shrugs his shoulders, and he wants to, when he goes, he's going to tell Lois that he's actually Superman. And
no way. No way. I can't do it, man. I'm tired.
No, that's fine. No, but we could describe the scene at least, and just that scene. When he changes and he puts his shoulders back, and everyone's seen it anyway, so picture it. And he changes his voice, and he's like, Lois, I've got something to tell you.
I've got something to tell you. I mean, I was really nervous about that, but then I decided, darn it, I'm going to show you the time of your life. That's Clark. Yep. Nice.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I'm just now I'm so gun shy about any clips.
It's fine. No, it's fine. No, that's fine. But just that, I think, encapsulates how good Reeve was with just that scene. You feel that build, like, yeah, tell Lois you're Superman. You're gonna get the girl, and he doesn't. And then he shrugs his shoulders and he turns into the Clark Kent persona within 30 seconds of a scene. And I think that's one of the the best scenes of acting in any superhero movie, or any movie.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's amazing.
Yeah.
The only thing I can figure out, Max Redstone, to that is Jor-El probably used Kryptonian technology to make it invisible to the Air Force, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah, they probably because he knew Earth, right? And he knew how
he knew enough about Earth.
Advanced.
Yeah.
They said how backwards Earth was. So, think of today where we've got, spy planes, or, the stealth fighter, where, it would be undetectable by, World War II standards. So
I like what Nick said. That's so true, actually. Nowadays, we're lucky for something to happen within 5 episodes of a Marvel show or half a movie with boring Fifi scenes. That, especially the TV shows, dude, Jesus Christ. If you got 6 episodes, you can't screw around. If a movie, movies are tight anyway because you have 2 hours. But even 6 episodes, you need to learn how some control and to understand that this is still supposed to be in the MCU, even though it's now the MCU. It's supposed to be a superhero show, but you're gonna just I don't know what they think they're accomplishing with Hawkeye. There's like, ugh. And by the way,
Yeah.
that's not going to be. That's not. So who was about to spoil or something? Never mind. I won't say it.
Well, you can't. But my question is, do you think that tied into the Netflix series? We won't say anything other than that. Do you think that's the same character? Or you think it's going to be a totally new character?
Even though it's many years later, no, because they've already said they're going to. They've already.
They're going to wipe the slate.
With what they're going to do to that character and that show. Like redo it, I can't say anything.
We can't say it till because that show just aired. We want to say, but you think they're gonna wipe the slate clean basically and start over?
That's true. Boy, FF tissue would take to. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
Next week we can talk about it. Yeah, when everyone's had a chance to watch it. Yeah,
I actually enjoy the end credits using that song. And again, you know what? It really looks good as far as those end credits and then the opening credits for the first one using that art from the comic. That was the thing I enjoyed most about that comic that you had me read.
Yeah.
I like the comic, by the way. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It was pretty cool. For those who don't know, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about more in a different date. But I read the comic that this show is so-called based on, though it's not really, at Mark's recommendation. And by the way, they had because it was cheap on Comicology. Now they got a bunch of Spidey stuff cheap on Comicology, a bunch of Masterworks, and Epic Collections and some stuff. Dirt cheap, like $1.99 on a bunch of those.
Oh, nice! Yeah.
On Spider-Man, a bunch of Spider-Man Masterworks for $1.99.
Yeah, I made Clobby read a relatively new comic. Well, it's 2012, but
yeah, that's pretty new to me. Yeah. And one day I'm gonna take some examples of that art by David Aja, and I'm gonna show how much he swiped. By the way, it's pretty good. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, it was the Fraction. It was Fraction's. At least his first. I don't know if it was Fraction. Was not bad, a little overhyped, but yeah, it had moments. Yeah, that's pretty much what I thought. I didn't read that last story in it. That was New Avengers, the Kate Bishop one.
Yeah, I think I actually just have the issues. I don't have that trade, but I have just it's 1 to 22 if I'm remembering right. That first run, but yeah, the art is really good, and the story holds up. There's a couple of things where you can kind of see that MC, or whatever, a couple of lines, but back then you wouldn't notice them or pick on them or pick them out. I think, but. It's I thought it holds up pretty well. And the tracksuit mafia is fun, and but there's really not much taken from the series other than a couple of guiding posts, and they really changed the they didn't follow that comic other than like the car chase scene, I think, and they take out the toxic Hawkeye who's sleeping around in the beginning of the comic, which I thought was hysterical.
Of course.
With the redhead.
Hungry Boy, are you referring to the Fraction Aja? Hawkeye says, I feel about that comic the way Steve Mitchum feels about Joe Sinnan's inking. So are you Hungry Boy referring to the comic we're talking about, the Matt Fraction David Aja Hawkeye run? Just let us know. We'll clarify.
I don't know. It's 32 says
Superman 1 or more 2 or Alexander. Yes, we can agree on that. Max Redstone, the Salkinds are a couple of idiots. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say 32 says Lucky the Pizza Dog is cool. That's true. And I said, yeah, they're made for each other. But now I'm thinking about it. Like, would Nick Weiser want to have a dog that would eat all his pizza? You'd have to share.
Well, I'm going to make this. I'm going to make this bold prediction for the 6th episode. Nicholas and Marcellus. And Marcellus. My prediction is that Lucky, the doggy, is going to turn out to be the Nick Fury. Not
Super
Nick
Skrull?
Fury Skrull.
Oh, God help us. God help me. Don't do that to Lucky.
and call it, or at least that stupid, what was that frickin' thing or whatever that scarred Nick Fury?
The cat, yeah, the shape
But it was called a
changing cat.
flickin' or some shit.
Yeah, can't remember the name of it. Don't do that to Lucky. Lucky's our guy. Lucky would have a good home here. Nick says, yeah.
Now, the Superboy TV series does sort of tie into this movie. Matthew Pounder. It was by the Salakines. The first season was garbage. The second season was blah when they brought in Gerard Christopher, whom I've met a couple times. It was kind of a weird. He was an art guy. The third season had some great stories, but the second and third and fourth season had one great thing thread through it. We talk about Luther. Sherman Howard as Luther on the Superboy series is so underappreciated, so underrated. He is fan-freaking-tastic as Luther on that show. He's like maybe my favorite live-action Luther. And when you ever see these memes and stuff, where people put a bunch of different all the Luthers that are playing in movies and stuff, and they never put him on there.
They always probably picked the guy from Smallville who did a great job as Luther. I'm forgetting his name.
Yeah.
I liked him in Smallville. I thought he was good.
Smallville
really
has nothing to do with Superman.
Yeah, he was a good Luther. That guy is a good
Swill.
Someone in the chat will get the name for me. But
Michael Rosenbaum.
Thank you. Yeah, I thought he was great as.
He's good as the Flash.
Yep.
They did the Flash's voice on Justice League. Remember?
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, that was him. But seriously, look, that is Nick. That's totally a joke, by the way. About the dog, they're not going to do that. Now, I hope they do it. God, I hope they do it. I will not. I'll probably have to go to the hospital from laughing so much.
Right?
Oh, wouldn't that be funny? Like Nick Fury shows up as a cameo, and the whole time, or that other scroll.
Yeah, he's there the whole time, right? Yeah.
Well, it is Fury. It is Hawkeye.
Yeah. Well, is he still have any trick arrows left, or is it?
I don't know. Gone? Tomorrow, maybe we'll see him maybe we'll see him tomorrow in Spider-Man.
Yep.
I wonder what camos tomorrow. Who's going to see Spider-Man tomorrow, folks?
I'll be there 4 p.m. Eastern time.
3 p.m. 3 p.m. Central.
Yep.
It's the same time as you.
Yeah, it's funny. Same exact time. Yeah.
Yeah. We should whoever's movie starts first should text the other one. Mine started because after the first 30 friggin' minutes of commercials.
Oh, we'll see who has the most commercials.
Yeah.
It's the commercials are too damn long when you finished all your popcorn before the movie starts.
Oh, I hate that crap.
Then you run out of popcorn.
Yeah, but you know what? The one time you don't get there on time, they'll start it on time.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, you guys started it on time? Oh, because at least you have reserved seats now. That's the good thing.
Yeah, and you can have my theater's all you can eat popcorn, so I'm gonna have to send my son back out for the second batch if we run out, because otherwise we got to keep our superhero masks on the whole time. So unless you're actively eating popcorn,
that's because your theaters are run by a bunch of sissies. I'll go.
Yeah, well, it's not the theater; it's the state. But yep. But consult your doctor, as culture would say.
Yeah. There you go. We're not doctors here.
So always keep your superhero mask on. Never reveal your secret identity.
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on YouTube.
Yeah.
So that's funny. The day before, I guess the debut is 43 years in one day after this, the ultimate superhero movie. We get another Spider-Man movie that I'm probably gonna. I don't know. Look, I'll go in and try to be optimistic, folks. As you can see, I sound really excited. But you know what? It's best not to go in too excited.
Yeah. Lower expectations. Yeah.
I hated the last one. Was it Far From Good? And Homecoming. I just don't like the way they interpret Spider-Man. But we know this could be very different from that.
I think with the multiverse, it's going to be
multiverse,
more of a off-world Elseworlds kind of
It's
story.
how
I
they
think.
deliver on that, though. It's going to be. Are we going to get a lot of that, or is this going to be like maybe 5 minutes of that stuff, and then the rest? I don't know. We'll see.
Well, the actors are good. And, Strange is great.
Yeah.
Zendana is good, although she's not MJ, but she's a good actress. So we'll see how much she's in the movie or what happens. Are we going to get Silk? Are we going to get Gwen Stacy coming back? These are all obviously I don't know it. These are all speculate. This is all speculation, but I want Spider Girl to show up. That would be awesome. From the future, that would freak Peter Parker out, right?
Mm-hmm. That'll probably happen.
Yep. Or Spider Ham, Peter Porker.
Spider Ham should be in there. Well, you had him in the damn cartoon thingy. So what do you want?
Yeah.
So I don't know. We will see. It should be.
It's not going to be as good as Superman the movie. I mean, what was your favorite scene in Superman the movie? Or do you have a favorite scene, or just the whole damn thing? Or if you could pick out like your favorite part of the movie.
It's so tough to pick a favorite scene because there's so many. I mean, probably at the top is probably the helicopter rescue scene. The whole bit. I mean, that's one of the most wonderful superhero sequences in any movie ever. So, as an actual scene goes, that's probably my favorite scene in the film.
That's so his intro. Yeah, I agree with that too.
There are a lot of great bits, but that's probably it. Almost
that great. That people in the movie theaters were going crazy with that line. Like, who's got me?
Who's got you?
Yeah, who's got you? Yeah. So, that and people, when you talk about, you didn't hear the next line because people are applauding and going crazy. So
that's insane. It was so good,
and it looks so. The other thing too, it looks so damn good too. We got to say that. So we're spoiled now with all the CGI, and maybe sometimes CGI you can tell it's CGI. It looks crappy, but I mean, this even looks better than CGI. I think it's just so well done. And the first time you see him, flying, you're like, holy shit, Batman, he's really flying. I mean, it's just
unreal.
And it's on the big screen too. Even as good as our TVs are today with the 50, 70-inch TVs,
right?
Ain't nothing like a movie theater screen. So
we were talking about how Hawkeye just jerks you around, does nothing. This is a movie that does make you wait, but it doesn't. It makes you wait to see Superman in action. It does do that. It makes you wait a long time, but it builds up to it beautifully. Again, especially if you're not from, the anticipation was amazing. Especially if you're not from this generation, the short attention span generation that we were speaking about. So it's incredible. I mean,
it's a well done. Yeah, it's a well done anticipation. I bet I'm saying it. Yeah. It does move. I'm not saying the movie is slow, but some people might think it's slow.
No, I know. No, I've had people call it slow back then.
Yeah.
No, believe me, I know. You're right. You're right. People do that. It's slow. It's like, but not to me because got all that wonderful music. So I think, aside from that, I think my favorite bit, other than that, is the actual opening of the film into the very little. From the very little black and white projector crawl with the showing of the black and white Daily Planet, and then that crescendo, the music building up with the big red S and those wonderful blue credits coming across the screen, whooshing across the screen with that great sound. Yeah, I mean the
3D,
through space.
And that's all hand drawn too back then too.
Yeah,
it's the lettering. It's all hand done with the 3D.
By the time that's done, you're stuck. I mean, you are glued to it. You can't wait. And it's fantastic. So what about you? What's your favorite scene?
Well, I mean, the helicopter scene obviously is a great scene. And I think what's fun, one scene I really liked too was, Luthor when he changes his, when he's acting kind of like the idiot Luthor. And then that first scene where Superman meets Luthor in that, the hidden subway station that's, underground and in that water, the cave or the pool or whatever, and just those interactions there. I think Hackman is just so damn good as Luthor, and just those lines and when the banter between the two, the dialogue, and it's just they're going at it, and it's just I just love it. I just love it. I mean, it's just
so many wonderful scenes. And I think also, Oliver mentions one that's almost up there with the ones two that I talked about. And that's when the last scene. Yes, it's campy as hell when he brings Luther and Otis and turns them in, and when the warden. I mean, it's just this is what gets me. Superman is the Boy Scout. This is I don't care how corny it is. I will not. It makes me. It brings me to tears of joy almost every time I see it. That ending is just so wonderful when he just, this country is safe again, Superman, thanks to you. No, sir. Don't thank me, Warden. We're all part of the same team. I mean, I don't care how Adam West that is. It's fantastic. And it gives me chills every time when he flies up and got that wonderful music. And he flies and we see that smile.
Yeah.
That's what Superman is all about. Hack Snyder, you stupid asshole.
That's just so patriotic too. Of course, now we can't say truth, justice, and the American way anymore.
The hell with that. Look, they even made a joke in that when they mentioned it. When he says that, because you're going to end up fighting every elected official in this country.
Yeah.
Which was pretty funny.
Of course, we're not too far out from Watergate and Tricky Dick. So Nixon resigned in '74. So, yeah, right, but yeah, they did. But that's what you love about the character. So, like when we went to see Star Trek II at Boy Scout camp, and I was working as a counselor, so we all went to see Wrath of Khan, and the only line we booed when said, "Well, one thing, James Kirk was never a Boy Scout." We all booed. We all booed, but yeah, he was a Boy Scout. He was a good Boy Scout, but maybe he didn't follow all the rules. Yeah,
Superman's the Boy Scout. Yep.
Yeah. But that's what you love about the character, because if he's corrupted, he can rule the world. I mean, that's why that Superman Red Sun Elseworlds book, tries to show what would happen if he got raised in the Soviet Union. So part of it is I wish Jonathan Kent, his dad, had been in the movie longer, but he does just such a great job in that one scene. Versus the Snyder, but see, I said it right. You won't.
Thank you. Well done.
Quote me. That where he just don't save me. I mean, that's just such a ridiculous. Jonathan Kent in the first movie, he would have said, "Help try to save me if you can." I mean, it's just so ridiculous.
It is so moron. Well, Hack Snyder's a moron and has no respect for the character of him, David Goyer, and that moron Christopher Nolan, all those jackasses. And the thing is, there's that saying that they play over and over again, where he says, "All those things I can do, all those powers," and I couldn't even save him. Well, you would have to change that for the piece of garbage Man of Steel after he doesn't save him. All those things I can do, all those powers, and I wouldn't even save him. Yeah, because you're an idiot, and the people who made this movie are idiots, and blah, blah. But anyway,
they saved the dog. Yeah.
I mean, you could save both, but I mean, it was such a piece of shit, that movie.
No, it's just, but that's why we love this movie so much. It's a pure movie. There's no, trying to have some subversive message. I don't know what the right words are, but it's just a pure Superman movie, showing Superman as a force of good, and how even though he's got all these powers, it's not a boring character when it's well written, and you've got this great cast and special effects, and Christopher Reeve just brings the character to life. So it's
all right, Steve Mitchum. Take it easy, buddy.
Good night, Steve Mitchum. Say hi to Maddie. Yep.
Well, you know what? I'm going to backtrack on one thing. Now that you mention it, D-Bud, I think I would save a dog before I would save Kevin Costner also.
The dog is and Superman wouldn't use his super speed or do something to figure out a way to save his dad, use his super breath or something to push the car out of the way, do something to hide his powers. But
well, he could easily save him he's faster than a cartoon tornado any day.
Yeah,
it was really stupid, but everything about that movie was stupid. So.
The thing in this movie was Superman really doesn't have the breadth of his powers yet either, so I guess he can only run fast at this point. He hasn't learned to fly when Pa Kent dies, right? Or they don't tell you that So he's not at the full height of his powers, but that still doesn't matter. The point is
You
made.
could have saved him so easily. It's not even. It's just laughable.
No, I mean in Superman the movie, and when Pa Kent dies and
No, he
has the heart attack.
At that one, he wouldn't know how to save him. No,
yeah,
he didn't have.
He
was a
wasn't
heart attack.
But
he
he's
might
not even.
Even Superman with the full amount of his powers, could he save a guy from a heart attack necessarily? I mean, I don't know.
Well, no, I'm saying he could have. This is the geek in me, but he would scan, scan his parents. He would scan his parents for to see, how their hearts are, or of course we didn't even have that technology then, or he could have raced him. But the point is that there's by having him die that way, there's really nothing that he could have done. I mean, it's not like saving him from a tornado or falling off a cliff or something, something like that.
It is forbidden for you to interfere in human history. Rather let your leadership steer others too. Yes, indeed. Hey, both you and in one day, your ass. There was some people that were, I forgot what friend of ours it was now, that because if you don't listen too carefully at the beginning, when you will bow down before me, Jarrell. No matter that it takes an eternity, you will bow down before me. He goes, both you, and in one day. He says, your heirs, but you could get it muddled and feel like saying, your ass. Your ass. I know the people that thought that. When I first heard it, I was like, huh?
That's why you need subtitles.
I was a 14-year-old kid. I'm like, your ass? What the hell?
No, it was Az. A-Z. It was A-Z. He was talking about Az.
Hey, Courtney.
Yeah, Courtney.
Yeah. Sorry, Courtney. I was yelling. Sorry about that.
Sorry for your ears. Yeah, we ruined your super hearing now.
I'm sorry.
I can imagine someone tuning in and saying, what the heck is going on?
Yes. Yeah. Well, again, when you're a kid and it's pretty loud and it's in the theater, like, what? And they freaking hell that your ass. No airs, you dumbass. Oh.
What's a hair? Sorry.
What's a hair? Yeah, a kid doesn't know
an 8-year-old kid. What's a hair?
Yeah, the kid doesn't know what airs are, right? You probably. So yeah. It's like I was 14, and I was like, huh? So I know a lot of people.
Isn't it?
Well, I know a lot of people who heard it as kids thought he said ass. Yep. There you go. Stuart said the same deal. He said.
See?
For a long time, I always thought Zod said ass. So you admitted, everyone. Raise your hand.
Zod had braces.
Zod had braces. Raise your hand if you think, Zod said as. You won't be judged here. Yeah, right. And Axamanda Bear, what's up, Blair? Good to see you. Yeah, it wouldn't have sounded right if you said both you and one day your descendants.
Yeah, too long. Yep.
Oh dear. We could be playing the game of Rassilon at this very moment. Brigadier. So, but yes, he was great. Again, great casting as Zod, of course.
Yep.
And the extended versions have all kind of crazy stuff, added dialogue to that scene, and they have all kind of stuff with the guard on Krypton. Being sent to arrest Jor-El and Lara.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen that. Yeah, yep. So it's been a long time, but I was watching because when you have the different versions, you're trying to. I usually watch the theatrical cut, but yeah.
Interestingly enough, that begs the question because a couple of weeks back, as you know, we had our wonderful friend, the beautiful Bionic Belly Button, and she made the astounding. And I love you if you're hearing this, Bionic. We love you, of course. The astounding confession that she's never seen this movie, Superman the movie. And she's, and she is, of course, not that many generations removed from me. She's not my age, but she's not, she's sort of in the middle. I'm not saying she's old. She's young and beautiful, of course. But you know what I'm saying? She's not a child either. She's an adult woman, and she was we were talking about it, and we teased her a little bit about it. Like, again, if she hears this, we love you, Bionic. So she was asking, well, what should I watch? I mean, which version? Because I told her there's so many versions. And I had to tell her, you know what, you're best just starting with the theatrical. Because it's long enough. The theatrical was pretty long. And so what you do in the unimaginable instance that someone, you find someone that hasn't seen the movie, best just to say, watch the theatrical. If you like it, if you enjoy it, then you could easily go back and watch the extended cuts later. Kal-El says, Clobberin Times, in Man of Steel, even if Clark used super speed or any other of his powers to save Jonathan, wouldn't the tornado itself be the main distraction from anyone seeing Clark use them? Oh, yeah. He may not have been experienced at using his powers, but he could have saved him in time. And by the way, it should not even be a concern whether anyone sees you or not. That's another sore point, sticking point of Hack Snyder and David Goyer and those morons who made Man of Steel. Him being spotted saving somebody, yes, obviously he didn't have a secret identity at that point, should not trump saving a life.
Well, plus he could have done it, and no one would have known. He was in a car too, right? They were in the throughway. It's like, who the hell's going to know you on the throughway? And then he could have just run away or gone away. And they said, I don't know who said. They wouldn't have put two and two together. They wouldn't know who saved him. So saved his dad.
That calls to mind another pretty good Elseworlds comic. We were talking about Elseworlds earlier. Did you ever read the comic Superman's Secret Identity?
No.
Kurt Busiek, one of my favorite writers many times, of course, he wrote a comic about, it's been so long since I've read this one now, but it's basically along the lines of they keep his identity they keep his identity secret. He becomes he does all the Superman type stuff, Superboy, Superman type stuff.
Okay.
But he never for the longest time, no one knows he doesn't come out with a costume or anything like that. He does it behind the scenes sort of thing. And it's been so long since I've read it. Let's see. Let me find out. Well,
while you're looking that one up,
go ahead.
I did find that Superman, that comic we were talking about before, where the Kryptonians take over. I think that was Kyle DM me. So that's actually Superman, the Man of Steel, the Louise Simonson series from 1991.
What's that about?
That was where Jor-El convinces everyone to leave Krypton and come to Earth, and they take over the Earth. So that that were much earlier. So that's Elseworlds Annual number 3, but it's actually Superman, the Man of Steel comic from 91. So it's Annual 3.
It's an issue. Yeah,
it's an issue. Yeah. But it's and that one's written by Christopher Priest and art by Mark D. Bright, Magnolia cover. But it's Simonson, Louis Simonson wrote. It looks like a good chunk of that series. Is one of the writers. But that's the Superman after the Byrne Superman. So, but
yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Well, this is Superman's Secret Identity was pretty interesting, and again, it deals with that kind of stuff. It kind of deals with those questions. Let's see here. Find some pictures from it.
That's It's a one-off, or it's a
no.
One-off?
There's a trade of it now, but it was a multi-issue prestige format comic at the time.
Oh, it was a prestige, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Superman's Secret Identity.
I'll pull it up.
Yeah.
Some pics of it here. Pretty good art by Stuart Eminem. I liked it. I mean, some. Here we go.
I don't remember if I've seen that one before. Yeah, the art's good, man.
Yeah. Oops, what's wrong? This is a pretty good comic, though. Anyway.
Well, add it to the
what
good read list. Yep.
I'm trying to think. What was the Yep. He saved Lana from hurricane or for a tornado without anyone seeing him.
Yeah, I mean, if you can fly at super speed, I mean, you can. There's a lot of things you could do, right?
Right. I'm trying to think of what was the other one we were talking about earlier with the Superman. Last family of Krypton or something.
Oh yeah, that was
Claude told
someone
us
had
earlier.
mentioned. Yeah,
I already
he had
forgot.
posted it. Yep. Last family of Krypton. Yeah, so they all
Last
came to
Family
Earth
of Krypton?
together. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Let's find out. That was pretty good too. It was about the whole family there, and Gary Bates wrote that.
Oh, this is the one. Oh, sorry, Superman Secret Identity. That was when the kid named Clark Kent discovers he's the powers of Superman, right?
Yes, that's
Clark,
it.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, that was really well received when that came out. Yep.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Yep.
Let's see here. But this one's also good. Again, Elseworlds, you can do all kind of fun stuff with them.
Yeah.
You ever see this one?
Superman. Let's see.
No, not this new Krypton crap. Oh,
no.
Come on. There you go. The Last Family of Krypton.
No, I haven't seen that one. Adding that to the list.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's an interesting story. Yeah. Of course, now we're kind of getting like a Superman family now, and Superman and Lois with the kids having powers and being on Earth. Although I think it's been a pretty well done series. But
thank you, Matthew Powner. It is very much similar to Earth Prime Superboy. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say the only thing I don't think Superman should have let is Jonathan play football with, even though he's almost got superpowers, right? So that was the one thing I was thinking, comparing to Superman the movie where Jonathan the dad is telling him you're not here to score touchdowns, and the new TV the CW series, although we do like it, he's got Superman is letting his son play football, even though he's got some slight Kryptonian powers, which I thought was kind of crazy. I don't know what you thought of that, but
yeah, well, I hate it. I hate it. It's a bunch of crap, but I hate it. Just like John Byrne claimed. I mean, years before he went to DC, he was asked in an interview in a book I had called "The Art of John Byrne" publication, and he was asked, what would he do if, what character would he most like if he went to DC? This was years before he was still doing X-Men, doing FF, and he said Superman. He said, I love Superman. I always have. I love Superman the movie. He said, I would adapt Superman the movie and start from there.
Interesting.
He just loved it. Well, so what does he do in his first shot out the box? In issue number 1 of his quote Man of Steel miniseries from 1986, which number 1 came out July the 4th, 1986. With his revamp, what does he do in the first issue? Clark Kent's playing football, and he's, of course, the best. Yeah. And he came up with that stupid power battery crap. So I'm thinking, wait a minute, what part of the movie you claim to love when Paul Kent says, I do know one thing, it's not to score touchdowns.
Yeah.
He would never use his power like that. It sucks. And even if he's claiming, he didn't, he wasn't that powerful by then. Well, hell, it wasn't too many years after that he starts out and he goes and saves the shuttle or whatever without a costume. I fucking hate. Oh, I did it. I cursed someone else. I don't give a shit. I hate that thing so much.
We got Bobby triggered,
everyone.
Well, like on the, like on Lois
and did with that revamp. I hate it.
Yeah, and Lois and Clark, he's the Jonathan, the kid, the grandson, doesn't have his powers aren't fully developed, as Phantom is saying, but he's still, what if he's like, he loses control of his heat vision sometimes, and he's still far stronger than the ordinary human. So what if he broke a kid's leg or paralyzed the kid? Right.
You couldn't tackle him.
As much as I love having, on this new TV show, The Outsider, he's getting, picked on. He's kind of a geeky / nerdy kid. I love that, him going to play football. In my mind as a kid, I can see why you love that part of the character, but to have him actually do that. And now, of course, I think they finally had him stop playing football, but it's just kind of, I don't think Superman would let him play, but that's just, overall the series is good, but that's one of the things that I thought that, he would have put his foot down and said, "Hey,
There you go, Phantom.
you could kill someone." Yeah.
I mean, no one will be able to tackle him, but there you go. Absolutely, Phantom, exactly. Pre-crisis, Superman rules. Let's see here. Ty Templeton, Ty Templeton did stuff later. Ty Templeton did a book called, what's it, Stig's Inferno. Remember that one, Matthew Pounder? Did you buy that? Am I the only one? Maybe
No.
Claude and I are the only ones who bought that one. I'm sure Matthew Pounder, I don't know if he remembers. But anyway, Ty Templeton did some good stuff later, though. But yes. Well,
so what I was gonna say, what do you think of the ending of the movie? Because that's with the time travel and that some people you basically said you explained it and you kind of liked it, or some people thought it was kind of hokey. But now that you mention telling people to look at it, as him traveling through time, and actually, I was just reading about the new telescope they're putting up, the James Webb telescope, and it's true. Whenever we see stars, we're actually traveling back in time because it takes so much time for the light to get here. So that's a great way to explain it to someone, traveling back in time would see it would look like the world's going backwards, even though technically it's not. But
if I could find a picture to illustrate the point, he used to, in the old comics, he used to travel through time all the time.
Yeah.
And it was just that. I mean, obviously they use they've got like a panel from it to show you what I mean. Which again, it was just an effect. I mean, it was just kind of an artistic choice. There you go. Look, I got a lot of them.
Yeah, but at that point when I'm in the movie theater, I'm like, they actually killed Lois is dead. How could Lois be dead?
This is how you time travel in old comic books.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yep, I've seen stuff like that. Yep.
When you go visit the Legion or whatever. Oh, there's one.
He really was going back in time to play the lottery. Come on, let's not kid ourselves.
Superman.com. That's also with the Legion of Superheroes. They were the only kids Superboy could legit hang out with. Yep, I miss those times. So yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm not saying it was perfect. I'm in the sense that maybe there are a lot of times you can second guess them and go, should you guys really be doing the turning back time? So again, turning back time came to what it's always called, that whatever you want to call it, the turning back of time or the traveling, the changing of time, if you will, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I'm not so sure it was. He should have done that. There he is, right there.
Yep.
But it does. I mean, when I saw it in the theater, all I can tell you, and every time I ever watched it, it didn't bother me a bit.
Yeah.
And then when many years later, when we started getting out into the populace, or just everybody I knew had no problem with it. All my geek friends, everybody, not a problem. They loved the movie, didn't care. But then you started running into other people like, I hate it when he turns back time. Fine. I mean, okay. Look, that's. I can see you not liking that, I guess, but for me, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
Even if Lois is a biatch.
I think that's one of the things that people picked on in the movie, if I'm remembering, going back in time, pardon the pun, but that was one of the criticisms. But hey, it's a movie about a guy that can fly and do all those other great things. So who's to say he couldn't travel back in time?
Right. Yeah, it doesn't damage the movie at all for me. Of course, I love it. So,
but you like Lois's portrayal in the movie? You thought she was a little bit too harsh.
First of all, here's a problem. Margot Kidder. Now, again, this can mostly be tied to the ABC version and the director's cut, because it's not in the theatrical. In the theatrical cut, the little girl who sees Jeff East Superman running by the train, we all know that. We know that's Lois, but we didn't know that in the theater necessarily because it wasn't. It was cut.
And you've got the Lois Lane from the TV show,
right?
So that's what you noticed too.
But on the couple of different versions, but not in the theatrical version. That's cut. You can see a little girl, but that's all. We don't know who she is. And then on television, we get the scene with Noel Neal and Kirk Allen, and they say Lois Lane, you blah, blah, whatever. So they call her Lois Lane. Now he's got to be what, 17 or 18, and that puts her at about. I mean, that girl, I don't know how old that girl was, 8, 9, whatever, maybe.
Much younger. Either way, younger.
Okay, so right after that, we know he leaves to go to 12 years, which again, I love the movie. That's another thing I was kind of felt to be a bit of a problem, how he goes and stays in the fortress for 12 years while Jarrell takes him through this mind trip through the galaxy and educates him and all that stuff.
I think it would have to happen faster with that kind of tech, right?
Right. That puts Margot in her early 20s. And it puts, him close to 30-ish, somewhere up in there, ballpark.
Unless he doesn't age 20, in that thing. But
I'm talking about over 21. Well, he clearly aged because he became, an adult. Playing Christopher Reeve. His voice was always Christopher Reeve because he dubbed over for Jeff Easton.
Yep.
So, so you've got
a Reed Richards situation there, right?
I get, and again, you've got
with Sue.
Yeah. Well, you've got. There you go.
Yeah.
So, she's too. She doesn't look 21, 22, 20, and she's supposed to be a grizzled or veteran reporter also. And again, bless her heart, I didn't really think she was particularly. I'd seen her in one movie before. I really didn't think she was particularly that super hot as Lois.
So you didn't buy the Playboy issue that she was in the 70s?
I was a little bit young, and now that I know about it, I still no. I remember that, but no, I thought it was 80s.
She was in Playboy. I won't tell you how I found that, but I did find that. So it turned up in one of the confiscated. We'd bring to summer camp. Kids would bring Playboys, and one of the dads would confiscate them, and then years later, we found the confiscated issues, and one of them had Margot Kidder in it. I got a good confession this week, but yeah,
that's okay. I'll go with it. I never liked her much in the role. MJ1 Media, hey there, and I agree with. I agree with you.
She had a tragic life at the end, Margot Kidder, and she had her whole life autobiography that she'd written on her laptop, not backed up, and the computer got destroyed or lost, or she lost all her work, and I think that set her off on a real bad path, unfortunately. So tragic end to her. Yep.
I mean, I never thought she was that. I don't know. I never was a big fan of her in the role. I put up with it because I love the movie. And that's that pretty much, and that's all I got. Sorry about that, but yeah, she's so, and she was definitely too old to play that role, or they just sort of changed time. They should have found some other way to explain it. I never had a problem with how Superman turned back time, says Kal-El. I only had a problem with the unresolved notion that afterwards there would still be technically 2 Supermen and 2. Well, it's a superhero comic fantasy movie. Like, don't go all Captain Deckard as a replicant on me. He's the one.
He created a new timeline. Yep.
Yeah.
By doing that.
But I hear you there, Kal-El.
I did like Margot Kidder's spunk, I think, and that personality of Lotus.
Older than
Lois. I think that that kind of worked, and think of too in the 70s. We always talk about like the strong female character. I mean, she was at the top of her game. Like a Princess Leia. Like no one was messing with her. So, maybe she's not the classic, classic beauty. And I think that's probably why they cut that scene out where they mentioned Lois's name on the train. So I think that by taking that out of the theatrical cut, then you just avoid that whole issue. But she did add that character, personality wise. I think she did a great job. Interactions with Perry White and then Clark and all that in the movie. She was a commanding presence, I thought, in terms of believing her as a reporter. But I can see I understand your.
I'd have taken one of the other actresses personally.
Yeah. Yeah.
MJ1 Media, that is something a lot of people do subscribe to, but I don't know him. Superman having the ability to time travel make him OP. Not for me personally. I understand how people might see it that way, but he's Superman. I don't mind it. I mean, you could, I don't believe in OP characters if you can find a good writer to do good stories with them and you find good challenges for them. A lot of writers would agree with you. They said that's why they didn't really care to write for Superman, because he was tough to write for. But there were some great writers have written some great Superman stories within that context of the one who can time travel. So for me, no, but I can understand why you might see that. A lot of people do think that makes him too OP, and not for me, because I know he's still at heart, he's a child's fantasy character, and I love him. So it doesn't bother me, because bringing characters too close to reality and trying to gear them towards the audiences they weren't really meant for was always kind of a problem. Even some great stories done by Alan Moore and others. So even Alan Moore tried to keep him kind of in his fantasy element and not go too far with that. When he wanted to do the deconstruction stuff, he usually did it with other characters than Superman, and that's what I kind of liked about it. So not for me, but some do. I don't need any reality with my Superman. I just need good, fun stories with him. But that's just me. Everyone's different, man. My one issue with Lois Lane for the longest time was how could Clark love a woman like Lois who loved Superman but not Clark? Superman Returns being a prime example. Yeah, no, I hear you. I'll tell you this. There's and you don't want to. When you recommend something, but at the same time, you don't want to oversell it, but then you don't want to tell too much was in it either, because then you spoil it. There's no point in anyone reading it or watching it. I'll just say this. I go on and on about this comic all the time to the point people are sick of hearing about it, but Kurt Busiek's Astro City is one of the greatest comics ever written. And there's a story. He has a Superman cipher character called Samaritan, but he also had another one that was kind of a similar character, but not quite, where he did his story about an alien being who becomes a Superman-ish sort of character also in the 60s, and about a Lois Lane type character who was constantly trying to expose a secret identity. I'll just say it to you like this. This story's so brilliant. What he does with Lois, I was like, oh my God, holy shit. Does it brings Lois into the kind of, again, this is a guy that he can so cleverly inject realism into fantasy that you don't notice it as much. You notice, you go, wow, this is still a fantasy concept beyond belief, and yet he made me believe it. That's what a great writer can do. And he does that without going too far into it. This wonderful, brilliant story he did about a Lois Lane type basically nagging the living crap out of a Superman type to the point, well, I won't tell you what happens, but it's brilliant, and it's exactly what really would happen. So I had to be cryptic about it in case you ever read it. You probably never will, but just in case.
I got to read it with that good recommendation, but yeah.
Astro City Superman is Samaritan. Yes, Samaritan is, but this is a different character. But this is a different character in Astro City that they did that particular story with there. But yes, Samaritan is definitely Superman. It's just this one was one that's more kind of they took elements. See, that's the thing about Astro City. He doesn't make every character an exact clone of an archetype, although he does some of that. But for example, the closest one is Samaritan. He's definitely the Superman of that comic, and yet his origin's nothing like Superman's. There's a Batman type, but he's not Batman. There's some amalgams.
The cipher, really, right?
Yeah, ciphers, but they're archetypes more than even ciphers, because they're not exactly like, you can see somebody like Miracle Man is an exact Marvel Man / Miracle Man is an exact copy for the purpose of copying Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Whereas Samaritan is, so you could tell Superman like stories, but when we finally learn his origin, like, wow, that's nothing like Superman. But it's still, the Batman of Astro City is, yes, he's Batmanish, but he's actually really turns out he's a vampire called the Confessor, who was bitten by a vampire and yet burned a cross onto his chest and is a preacher, is a priest. And yet that's kind of the Batmanish, but there are other characters with other Batman elements in it. He mixes all the great stuff. I did it again. I get going on Astro City and I can't stop. Sorry, folks.
It's your show. You can rant.
Yeah. But anyway, final thoughts on Superman the movie on this day, 43 years ago today, 1978. Well, yesterday was the premiere, but today was the national release date.
Well, I would just say, love the movie. It's one of my, favorite experiences. Seeing this, I think, I'd seen Star Wars the year before, and then to see this movie, roughly the year later, and the effects blew you away. The music blows you away. That score is just so amazing. You hear that, I can't sing or even hum it, but just that you hear 3 or 4 notes, and then that's Superman, right? So it's just such an amazing, powerful, uplifting score, and you feel good after you watch this movie too. It's you feel good about the United States, you feel good about Superman. You've got this guy with incredible powers, and he's here for good. So it's he is a Boy Scout kind of in a way, but it's there's nothing wrong with being a Boy Scout, right? So they're helping other people, and it's just a really uplifting movie. Maybe for some of today's kids, it might move a little bit slowly, but you get rewarded in the end, and I think that helps build the anticipation of building the character. It's the opposite of the Ang Lee Hulk movie, where there's no payoff in the end, and there's little to no Hulk. This movie, once you see Superman, every scene is well done. Hackman's brilliant, dialogue's brilliant. Tessmacher, the first time you hear him yell Tessmacher, you laugh, and the comedic moments, and then he gets serious, and the plan is, maybe it's a little hackneyed, but it's a classic comic book, plan where they're, gonna he's buying real estate, and they're gonna drop, California to the ocean so he can get rich. I mean, and that's more of the old style Luthor, I would say too, versus the mad scientist. I don't know if you'd agree with that, but
I like the mad scientist better.
Yeah, you like the mad scientist better. Yeah. I
don't like corporate Luthor.
You don't like corporate Luthor, yeah, but
or Kingpin Luthor either. But go ahead.
Yeah, but it's are there any misses in this movie? Really, I mean, you can do some nitpicking, but maybe some, like you said, you don't, Kidder wouldn't have been maybe your first choice.
Yeah.
But I mean, she, I don't think she really hurts the movie, in my opinion. I think she did a good job. And then after a while, you kind of, that's her role. And I think even in Lois and Clark, I think, the actress playing Lois kind of looks a little bit like Margot Kidder. I think they kind of picked an actress to kind of channel her look. Maybe that's just me, but I just love this movie. If you haven't seen it, watch the theatrical cut first, and then you want to go dive deeper, I'd say go with the Donner cut next. This is, I'm not, and then maybe, if you buy that Blu-ray, you can watch all those extra scenes. But I think the theatrical cut is the best. It's just it's what I remember seeing. So that's
MJ1 Media says, I don't mind Superman having the ability, but I will say it's a bit silly that he does the spinning earth thing to do it. Well, that was not him. That was an artistic choice of the movie. He should have just a machine that he uses. Well, this is the silly way they did it in the comic. If you see right there, he would just fly through it, and they didn't do it like going around the earth or anything. He would just hurl himself through space at awesome velocity so that he pierces the time barrier. So when I saw the movie and him doing that, I thought it looked kind of cool that he was going around the earth and stuff.
Yeah.
But this is what was in my head right there. That this right here when he's, if you see what I mean, when he's just flying through time. So that's when I was a kid for watching it for the first time. Yeah, I was going, wait a minute. I'm telling you, that's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, oh, he's just flying through time like he always does.
Yep.
So I was good with it. Doesn't bother me. And that's true. Yeah, sort of. Astro City, it's a little more complicated than it being a pastiche of DC and Marvel. There's more to it than that. But basically, yes, it's characters and concepts and idioms all a hodgepodge into a comic that are from not only Marvel and DC, but many other types of fantasy and superhero genres with characters with different names, so you could tell different types of stories with them. And some of the greatest superhero storytelling I've ever read, ever seen, ever was Astro City. And anyway, I tried to stop, but it's not my fault. He mentioned it. It's not my fault.
Well, the other thing too, we want to mention too, in 2018 they released the Ultra HD Blu-ray. So if you're like a film geek like me, like having the the digital, not the digital, right. Actually have a hard copy, you can buy that, and they've actually added Dolby Atmos. And they remixed it, and it was filmed in 70 millimeter film. So it's the film was beautiful too in terms of the quality of the original film. So they have a new version out that you can if you have one of those fancy dancy 4K TVs, looks really great.
Did you go to the Fathom event theater when they played it at the theater that year?
No, I didn't get there for that. No, you it's like it? Cool.
Oh,
yeah, it's nice quality, probably. Right?
I thought so, but my side. Kellel says I'm not sure if they could have done this back then, but it would have made more sense if Superman broke the light barrier. Well, yeah. Met himself in the past, and they stopped both missiles. In the alternate future, Superman just disappears like in Superman 3, not to be choked, but while flying away. Who knows? You never know. Maybe that would have worked better. Oh, he put that twice. Okay. Example: Black and White Superman show. Example: a Black and White Superman show had him ask a husband if he was married to his wife for 15 years. He says, "That you think that was
the Boy Scout?
I Love Lucy. that was I Love Lucy." When he says, "Wait a minute, Ricardo, you've been telling me you've been married to her for 15 years? Yeah, 15 years, and they call me Superman." Yes, that was a memorable moment. Yep. And he was pretty pissed off at that, George Reese, because they credited him in the end credits as Superman.
Oh, he didn't get his name on the. No. That would piss. They should have. Yeah, they should have credited him Superman / George Reeves. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, D-Bud, take it easy, man. We're right behind you.
Good night, D-Bud. Yep.
All right, everyone. Well, I want to thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. Really appreciate it. And helping us celebrate the 43rd anniversary of the great Superman the movie. 43 years ago today, 1978. God, and I love
43 years. Good.
43. Seems like longer. I'm just kidding. And so, no Global Geek Gang tomorrow. A week from tomorrow, there'll be a Global Geek Gang Christmas party thingy, Christmas with the superheroes. In the future here on Clobberin Times, however, tomorrow night at this same time slot, same bat time, same bat channel, Clobby's Clubhouse with our wonderful first officer, the magnificent Raquel Briggs, and of course, this august gentleman, our chief engineer, Mark D with AC. That will be 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And
I guess we'll talk about Spider-Man a little bit. I guess try to be unspoilery. I guess.
Well, it won't be spoilery, but we'll talk. We'll have both. We will have both seen Spider-Man, Far From Whatever or Something Home, No Way, this whatever the hell it's called. We'll both see it. And then Saturday night, Star Trek at the same time slot as always. What? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I Love Lucy. She did he did an appearance on there. That was it was great. And man, I love that episode. You could probably find the clip of it somewhere. Anyway, so what was this? Oh yeah, so Saturday night Star Trek, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. 4 more episodes with my first officer, and then a special edition of Clobberin Times, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time Sunday night. A review, joined by the great J-Man and Decepticon and. Hopefully, Mark D with a C.
I'll try to be
Nick.
there. Yep.
Hopefully, Nick. We'll have it won't be a long show, but it'll be a review of the new Spider-Man film, whatever the hell they call that thing. And then,
no way we can remember the title.
Yeah, Spider-Man something title. And then let's see what else. Monday night, Mark C Comics Talk. I will talk about Christmas-related comics. Duh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking maybe Tuesday that the big comic book roundtable reunion show will be over on Loki's channel. I'll be there for that.
Nice.
And and other stuff going on next week. I'm sure we'll be all kind of Christmassy stuff. So
it's the week to celebrate the holidays. Yep.
Max is watching the Donna Cut right now. Excellent, Max. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you all for being here with us tonight. We appreciate you. And
thank you.
And I'll have my next Spinner Rack Time Machine video will be out tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow sometime. It might take a while, but it'll get out there because there's been stuff going on. So anyway, thank you all so much again for hanging out with us, and thank you, Mark.
Thank you. Yep. Good night, everyone.
For hanging with me, bro, and everyone. Let's see. Don't thank me. We're all part of the same team, Clobberers.